Your biceps are finally getting bigger. Your muscles look amazing in the mirror, but then you put on a t-shirt and suddenly you look like you've never worked out before. Let me help you fix that. You can have big biceps, a strong chest, and even flat abs. But if your forearms look like skinny noodles hanging from your sleeves, it's all over. Because when it comes to looking strong, forearms are the secret weapon, just like a thick neck. And the reason is easy to understand. They're always showing. Grow them, and they will instantly show everyone how strong you are, even through your shirt. Even if your arms aren't huge yet, built forearms make them look bigger. And this is one of the few muscle groups where veins show up quickly. You don't even need to be super lean. Train them the right way, and those veins will pop out like road maps. So if you want arms with a tough look, start with your forearms because nothing shows strength like a handshake that feels like it could crush concrete. The second reason is that your forearms will help you get a better body overall. Let me explain. You're in the middle of a set, crushing your workout. Then boom, your forearms are burning. Your grip dies and the bar starts slipping like a wet fish. Your forearms aren't just for looks. They're the connection between your strength and the weight you're lifting. You can have huge back muscles, but if your grip gives out first, that set is over before it even starts. Stronger forearms give you a stronger grip, which means better workouts. Pull-ups, deadlifts, rows, every pulling exercise gets easier when your forearms can actually keep up. The last reason is something that messes up way too many workouts: elbow pain. You know that sharp sting you get when you do curls or bench press? It's not because you're tired. It's probably because of your forearms. When there's an imbalance between the muscles that bend your wrist and the ones that straighten it, your elbows pay the price. That's where those fancy names come from. Tennis elbow and golfer's elbow. One means your bending muscles are weak. The other means your straightening muscles are weak. But no need to pick sides. Both hurt a lot. The good news is that you can quickly fix that by adding forearm exercises to your workout plan. Little by little, you'll balance things out and your elbows will stop hurting every time you touch a dumbbell. Alright, time for the unfair truth. When it comes to forearms, genetics play a huge role, just like calves. Some people were just born with forearms that look like they've been gripping Thor's hammer since birth. Others, well, let's say they are not so lucky. It mostly comes down to bone length and muscle connections, the spots where your muscles attach. If you've got long muscle bellies, congrats. You've basically won the forearm lottery. Your muscles have more room to grow, and you'll get that thick, full look easier. But if your muscle bellies are short, well, let's just say the gains won't show as much. Unfair? Yeah. But before you throw your dumbbells across the room, relax. This doesn't mean you can't grow them. It just means your progress will look different. Maybe not as huge, but definitely more shaped, veiny, and strong. Genetics set the limits, but your hard work decides how close you get to them. So stop blaming your DNA and start blaming your skipped workouts. And to actually build those forearms, you don't even need fancy exercises or to spend 3 extra hours at the gym. You just need the right moves that hit the 3 main jobs your forearms do: elbow bending, wrist bending and straightening, and grip strength. And believe it or not, you can even train them with rice. Yeah, but we'll get to that part later. But before we get into the exercises, here's something most lifters don't know. Your forearm isn't just one muscle. It's a whole team of smaller muscles working together. And not all of them grow the same way. Some can get really big, others not so much. That's why you see guys training their forearms for months doing wrist curls and zero sign of growth. Because, spoiler alert, the muscles involved in the wrist bending are not the ones with the best growth potential. If you want big forearms, the star of the show is the brachioradialis. And no, it's not a dinosaur. This is the muscle that sits right on the top part of your forearm, close to your elbow. With the highest growth potential, it makes your arms look powerful. So, if you're chasing looks, this muscle is doing 90% of the work. To target it, simple. Use neutral or pronated grips. That's why your first go-to exercise here is the hammer curl. Dumbbells, cable rope, machine, doesn't matter. As long as your palms face each other, you're golden. But the real MVP, the reverse curl. It hits the brachioradialis hard and works your wrist straightening muscles at the same time, which means bigger forearms and healthier elbows. Super underrated exercise and yet super easy to sneak into your biceps workout. Moving on to the second team of your forearms, the wrist bending and straightening muscles. They're the ones responsible for bending and straightening your wrists. And yeah, they're also the little troublemakers behind most elbow pains we talked about earlier. These muscles don't have crazy growth potential. They won't suddenly make your forearms look like Popeyes, but strengthening them is key for keeping your elbows pain-free. If you actually want to train these muscles properly and save time, the wrist roller is your best friend. You know that stick with a rope and a weight hanging at the end. Depending on how you roll the rope, you will target different muscles. Roll it upward, you hit the wrist straightening muscles. Roll it downward, you hit the wrist bending muscles. Just make sure you're not holding it straight out in front of you like you're trying to fly. Otherwise, you'll fry your shoulders before you even touch your forearms. Keep your elbows slightly bent close to your body and roll nice and controlled. And finally, the last piece of the forearm puzzle, your grip. This one's all about the muscles that control your fingers and hand, the ones hiding deep under the surface. They won't make your forearms look bigger, but they'll make you stronger. And a strong grip means stronger lifts. And stronger lifts mean more gains overall. The easiest way to train your grip is those classic grippers. Those little spring-loaded hand crushers that look like toys but burn like hell. And you can use them anywhere. Between sets, at your desk, in the bathroom. Yeah, that works too. Or even while watching a video. Boom. Brain and forearm gains at the same time. That's what I call gains optimization. You can also optimize your workouts by using fat grips. They're basically thick rubber sleeves you wrap around your barbell or dumbbells. Once they're on, the bar gets thicker, harder to hold, and suddenly every rep becomes a grip workout on autopilot. Cheap, effective, and perfect if you're short on time. Just don't overuse it so that your biceps or back workout doesn't turn into a forearms workout only. And for those of you who want an alternative, let me introduce you to the rice bucket training. Grab a bucket, fill it with rice, and dig your hands in like you're looking for buried treasure. Twist, claw, squeeze, open, and move in every direction. Sounds weird? Yeah, it is. But it builds insane grip and wrist strength. Now, for those who really want to focus on building stronger and bigger forearms, here are 2 quick setups you can do without turning your workout into a full-time job. Start with 4 sets of hammer curls, 10 to 20 reps. It hits the brachioradialis, the muscle that gives your forearms that thick 3D look. Then grab a wrist roller. Do 3 sets rolling up and 3 sets rolling down. One direction works the wrist bending muscles. The other hits the straightening muscles. Finish with some grip work. Grippers or the good old rice bucket will both do the job. For the second workout, same plan, but swap the hammer curls for reverse curls. Start simple. Hit them twice a week to get your body used to the new workload. Then, if your recovery is good and you really want to focus on growing them, crank it up to 3-4 times per week. Sounds like too much? Not at all. Forearms recover crazy fast and can handle that workload better than any other muscle group. Just remember, perfect form beats ego lifting every time. You don't need to go full strongman mode and throw your wrists into orbit. Focus on form, full range of motion, and tension. Do that consistently, and your forearms will start stealing the spotlight every time you roll up your sleeves.